humans have always had a big problem. I would say that overarching problem would be sin, but to be more direct, it's really selfishness. Our basic human function is often to get what we want, no matter what we have to do. Obviously, there's morals that do dictate us based off the ideals that we hold, or maybe our culture holds, or society or whatnot. But really, selfishness still exists within our bodies to get whatever we can, maybe without being caught. And this is the problem that we really run into as humans. Whether we're doing right or wrong, self can be on both sides. And whenever we are doing right, and we're doing it out of selfish purposes, we are giving what is true a bad name. And this is the interesting, once again, problem that comes along with giving a bad name to true things. It's confusion. Often we don't understand ourselves, and thus we give the information that we have a bad name. Or we do know ourselves, but we're maybe too open to bad ideas, if that makes any sense. The problem is we are confused because we don't understand each other. Now, I'm not saying that should be our sole most main goal is to understand each other, but really we lack communication to a great extent, and that is our problem. We don't know how to communicate even to the people that we love. And most especially, we don't know how to communicate with the people that we don't agree with or that we don't like, that are enemies to us. And so we will often judge other sides and other ideas of what they believe, but really their soul-most based instinct, once again selfishness, is holding people back from even believing truth. Now, once again, a lot of people, I would say, are born into a truthful idea, but they are born into it in bad terms, either by how their parents brought them up. So they display the message that they've been given in a bad manner. Now, I'm not gonna point fingers to any particular thing, but there's a lot of things that I see, especially, I'll point out one: Christianity. I am born a Christian, but really I'll say there are a lot of flaws that we as Christians have done to the message that is within the Bible. A lot. And the thing is, many people will have the purposes and the reasonings to why they believe the things that they do. And we'll start attacking people that believe differently from us and cause even more problems simply because we just don't understand why they believe this nonsense. Once again, we don't understand. We're confused. We don't understand where other people are coming from. I love philosophy and psychology. I'm not great at either, but it's something that I find a lot of interest in. And I would say if we took those two, it'd allow us to see the world in a lot more clearer eyes. Just because we'll be at least a little bit more understanding as into the thinking that people have to go through. Because people are hurt. obviously. People are hurt and they will make stupid, rash decisions and lifestyle decisions that will harm them long term. Now, people, especially on the, I guess you could say, liberal side, I'm not going to put liberal in the sense of politics, but just liberal thinking and liberal ideas in modern times have been very, how do I put it? Not quite intelligent. I get their thinking. I can understand why some of them might like the idea such as socialism or communism, or pursuing this idea of equality within the sphere of gender. But the thing is, they are doing that based off of, once again, instinct of wanting to feel like they have purpose. Obviously, that isn't instilling purpose by, identifying themselves as they do. But that's the only way that they have figured out. They keep on figuring out new ways to try and feel like they have some type of purpose and meaning, which is the sole reason why so many people hate life, is because they don't know and they don't feel like they have any purpose or reason on this earth. And so you have people, especially in relationships. I'm going to go on an off rant for a little bit, just about relationships, just because my friend's in a relationship, but I feel like he's made a lot of bad decisions. Now, I'm not going to give his name, obviously. I'd just be dumb. But I'll put it this way. His girlfriend, has had a lot of problems in her life. And she will attach those things onto her. And she's trying to find a way to feel free from that pain. And when people don't know themselves, they will find any means to try and feel like they have some type of meaning. And often they have to find that in someone else just because they're not secure with who they are, because they don't, once again, know who they are. They can't figure that out. And so they will try and find purpose in someone else. If they have to go out of their way to find someone and basically live for that person and have their ideologies changed, so long as they can get that nurturing and care that they want so badly because they've been hurt from whatever it is, they will attach that to the individual that they are in a relationship with in order to feel like they are cared about. But once again, they don't necessarily care about what ideology they have to follow. They just want something to give them some type of purpose and meaning. Now, obviously, this is not going to apply to many people. Many people, certain ideas do matter to them all to a great extent, and they're not going to just go with the flow with anything. But for my friend, I would say this is a situation that is easily applied here. But it's also not applied just to relationships, it's just applied to life. Often, we will connect ourselves with different individuals, to different TV shows, to different games, and try apply and give ourselves into that world and find some type of meaning. Obviously, there is no meaning there. It just is bland and just doesn't matter at all. But we take that and we apply it to ourselves. We identify with whatever is being understood and given to us in, once again, that TV show, that movie, the video games, the books that we're reading, the different people we are hanging out, the celebrities, whatnot, wherever we're getting some type of pleasure and satisfaction from, even if it's very minuscule and it departs from us, we'll latch onto that. If we are not secure individuals that know who we are, we'll latch onto that and we'll believe it because that is something that is giving us some little bit of, I guess, worth. Once again, people are insecure. They'll agree with something that makes them feel less insecure about themselves, such as fat pride. Like, oh, it's okay to be fat. It's okay. You're still beautiful. Why wouldn't a fat person not want to go with that? Like, obviously, to say that being fat is okay is obviously lies. It clearly is. It's unhealthy, and it's just not beautiful. Like, there's no ands, if, or buts. It's just something that is not physically beautiful and isn't healthy. Now, if you are fat, I'm not gonna, attack you or say anything. Out of concern, I would want you to get better and get healthy. And it's these different type of things that we don't know how to go about it in a meaningful manner. We can often attack the individual and say that they're the problem. And once again, we're not realizing what the problem is, because once again, a person is not a problem. An ideology is a problem. And an ideology, yes, it does come from a human, but most of the time it is delivered from one person, maybe far, far, far long ago, that is dead now. And this idea has been pushed through whatever means by whatsoever individuals. I'd say you can blame certain individuals, but for the mass amount of people that are out there that are, to put it plainly, are sheep, you want to blame them, but at the same time, you have to understand where they are. Because if you start blaming them, there is no hope. You're not going to free them from whatever type of bondage that they're going through. They're going to keep on going back to whatever is making them feel good in the temporary state. So, once again, confusion. Confusion of knowing exactly who we are and the people around us are, and exactly what this world is. And there's so many different ideas surrounding everything, from does God exist to do we live on a ball or a flat sphere these days, which is ridiculous, to are there two genders or are they 72 genders, or there might even be more now. I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but the thing is, I'm not going to go down the insane love route, but there has to be this sense of connection of reality, but also patience and kindness together. Because if you're trying to disconnect those two, we're going to have no progress. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't even think there is going to be such thing as progress. I know a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, no, fight for whatever, and I'm going to still fight, but the thing is, I don't believe the story is going to end as a lot of people do. I believe that Christ is personally coming very soon, and that this earth is done for, and just one sign that I would say is peace is being pushed to the max, and it's being called out, peace to all nations. Obviously, chaos is still going and wreaking everywhere, but all nations are calling for peace pretty much, even North Korea recently, and the Bible actually predicts that. And if you want a verse, it's actually from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, and it says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travaileth upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." And that's referring to the end times. But the thing is, with all this going on, with all this havoc, it's all due to, once again, a lack of communication and understanding. We really act way too quickly when it comes to anything. Saying anything, doing anything. We don't want to understand or think and see what someone else has to say or why they believe what they do. And I'm not like a fan of a lot of ideas out there, really, because I do see them as very harmful, and it's sad that a lot of people are led astray by them. But once again, if I go up to that individual and start saying whatever they're thinking is dumb, really, I'm not doing anyone good. And I know this has been done way too much lately on YouTube. Just the bashing of different individuals. Obviously, it's been throughout history, but I'm saying people are trying to push a certain belief, whether it's, how there should be, all this feminism should be gone, and there's a lot of attacking towards feminism. I'm not saying that feminism is okay. It's not by any means. But we're not helping anyone by just bashing people. We're only hurting them by making them probably rely more and delve more into their ridiculous ideology. Once again, you could give people so many facts, but if you're approaching them in a bad manner, they're gonna just delve more in to whatever they are believing. And once again, if I'm going about, just telling people all this, yeah, sure, maybe I'm saying the truth, but how exactly is the things I'm saying affecting my way of thinking of those individuals? Am I then thinking that they're stupid? And, a lot of people just, oh yeah, well, they are stupid. And once again, you could say, yeah, maybe to the degree they are stupid. Yeah, they are dumb. But once again, I like to apply to myself a lot of these type of things as, well, you know what? I make a lot of stupid decisions too. So maybe it is a stupid decision that they're making and whatnot, but I can't stop them, and me just getting angry and frustrated at them is not doing me any better. It's just putting myself into a state of possibly anxiety or depression. So why would I put that upon myself? It doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. So, once again, the first step I would give to any individual to, I guess, trying to figure out this problem is, once again, you have to know yourself. You need to know what causes you to do the things that you do, and really have them figured out in your life. If you have anger issues, pride issues, because people have obviously just so many different type of cliques and problems that they haven't figured out that were given to them by their parents, by how they were treated in school, whatnot. And a lot of them are pretty easy. Sometimes we know what they are kind of deep down, but we're not willing to admit to them because we're just too afraid of, I guess, just giving in. And often at times the reason why we're afraid is because we don't want other people to know. One of the best ways I figured out of actually getting rid of a lot of my pride was by telling people. Like, I told my dad, and I pretty much broke out right in front of him. I'm just like, this is terrible. I'm honestly insecure about my masculinity. I don't feel strong, but yet I'm trying to make myself feel strong as a man, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's something that I don't think people talk about much, actually, is insecurity and masculinity. Really, I would say that is a major issue. People talk about insecurity between women, but I think there's, to a great extent, insecurity for men and being masculine. They don't know how to be masculine anymore because their fathers whatnot, and society hasn't taught them. They don't know how, and especially when you have gender roles attacked, men don't know how to act or behave. They don't know how to be masculine anymore. They apply these things like, oh, if I have a truck, if I act all buff and strong, I'm masculine. But is really that being masculine? Like, how do you apply a definition? Like, obviously, any definition out there, we have to have some type of idea to it. And there are certain stereotypes and all that. But we get confused so much of the time as into what something actually is. You know, people would consider blue a masculine color. But years ago, believe it or not, purple or pink or whatnot was a masculine color. So which one's a masculine color? Or high heels. Obviously, they're a lot different than they are from now, but like the male high heels, like originally, once again, high heels were made for men, but for on horseback. Does that make high heels masculine? Because now, you know, what women are wearing now, does it make it okay for men to wear them? Or because society changes, suddenly they're feminine? And this is a problem that I would say, honestly, where I would kind of agree with the left on, is, well, why with all these different changes of, oh, this thing's masculine, this is feminine, we're constantly going back and forth throughout history, why not just be like, oh, hey, well, you know, doesn't matter, like high heels doesn't make you less masculine or feminine or whatnot, or this doesn't make you less masculine or feminine. I would agree with them, because if we are going back and forth, and if we're going on historical terms, obviously to a certain degree you do have to go on historical terms, but I would say within us there is a natural masculine and feminine. And I would also say that there is a spiritual masculine and feminine that was given to us by God, but we have to act upon those masculine and feminine traits and actions and behaviors. But those things often aren't instilled within us because we don't know about them, or we haven't figured them out, or we haven't asked for them by God, if you are a Christian, that is. But it's just sad, really. We have such a confused society when it comes to everything. Every single question out there, we're like, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, why does anything matter? So many people went to that point, and that's where youth are. Anton LaVey, or different Satanists saying, oh, just do what you want. Aleister Crowley, that's who it is. Just do what you want. And people want that because they don't know anything else. Like, that's all they know. They don't find any happiness in anything, and so they're like, why not just go for everything? If I want to do this, if it gives me the smallest little bit of satisfaction, I'll chase it. Obviously, it doesn't bring them long-term happiness. A lot of the times, it just brings more pain and suffering to their life. Like having multiple sexual partners, getting involved in drugs and all these different type of things, they haven't led to happiness in people's lives. They've only brought more pain. But yet, people don't want to admit to it. They want to say sexual liberty is okay. They want to say that, you know, drugs are okay. They still want to say that all these different type of things that we're doing are okay because, you know, what's to say that they aren't? What's the meaning of life? Why is there is no purpose? And that's why I would say it's very important, and I might do this for the next episode, but God. What's your idea of God? Do you even believe in God? And once again, good and evil. Where does it come from? Why do you believe that this is good and evil? Like, if you have an idea of good and evil, like a definition, like, oh, this is good and this is evil, where does that come from if you're an atheist? I know, like, as atheists, like, many of them say, well, you know, it changes throughout time. Well, then you would say that if Hitler won, then we'd be living under his morals, and they would be, I guess, correct, because he's the one promoting them, and he's the one that won. He's the leader. And then once again, people would start a rebellion and start saying that, oh, you know, they're destroying and we need to gain back our freedom. What freedom? It doesn't exist. There is no such thing as freedom if that's the idea in the world that you live in. There is no moral construct. Because it's just made up. It doesn't come from anywhere because there is no foundation. Anyone can say anything and it just makes it true. You can't delve into science and find moral reasonings for something. I know Jordan Peterson does stuff like that, but really, as he has even said, really, the moral construct that we have had for such a long time in North America is really Christian values. And that is what held this place together, and now that they're being ripped apart, the entire country is just falling apart in front of our eyes because we have no morals anymore. We don't know what we're doing. And once again, it's sad because the other people, they're hurt, they're in pain, they are seeking something to fill that void, and they've been spewed this garbage all throughout time. Well, I guess not all throughout time, but like since the 60s, this promoted idea of do what you want, freedom, you know, sexuality. I don't know, I guess I don't really have a whole lot much to say, except for it would be nice if things were better, but I know they won't. And it's sad. But I know that there is a better place soon to come. And I'm just hoping that if you are listening, that you would pick up your Bible. If you're not Christian, then I don't know, I guess it'd be interesting. Hopefully my next episode, because I really do want to do something on God. If it's not next episode, I would like to do it eventually. Just the whole God construct and the belief behind it. If you don't believe in him, once again, it's hard to put meaning in anything, because where does meaning come from? There has to be a foundation of what meaning is and where it comes from. Individuals can't make meaning. There's already like people can say something, they can live and then just spew out something that's already true, like, oh, you know, it's good to eat healthy, or it's good to work out, or, you know, gravity exists. I'm trying to think of something interesting. Those are all pretty basic, but if you say something that's true, it's already been founded somewhere. Like, if you're saying something, it's either true or it's false. There is no in between. It has to be either true or false. Now, that's where it really comes down to it. Matter, meaning, has to come from somewhere. And I would say, obviously, God, because there's no really other place to put it down. Like, okay, well, you know, if there is such thing as meaning, if there is such thing as all these different things that are built to bring happiness and prosperity and peace, obviously there is an intelligent design and a reasoning to why those things were created, and this individual must have a sense of vast knowledge that we don't understand. Well, we do. A lot of us do understand some things, but we don't understand the full complexity of it. I sure don't. And I believe I won't believe the full complexity of really everything ever. And I believe in heaven. I don't believe in heaven I'll understand everything, because I'm not God. I can't understand the full complexity of everything because I can't create it. I can't build it. I'm not the ultimate organizer, which is God. I don't understand not living within space and time and all that. I can't comprehend it as a human. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't like the idea that, I can't comprehend God, thus he's not real. Well, I'll get you to think about that a little bit more, but I guess you're entitled to your opinion, and I can't change that. But I would hope that you would think differently, so long as you're thinking freely. And once again, an individual can't think free if they don't know themselves, if they haven't figured out what causes them to be held back from understanding truth and understanding the problems that they have and the problems in the world, because they're confined to the things that they feel so desperate on wanting and needing in their life, and they just have no time to figure out these other things, these other important matters. And so, really, that's an interesting journey. Learning oneself is one of the most interesting journeys I could really have. It sucks sometimes, but really when I look back on it, it's a journey, and it's exciting. And I would hope you guys would say the same, going and having these insane moments of figuring things out after so long, and wow, you mean I had that problem for that long and I just didn't realize it? Yeah, it's awesome. It means you're moving forward, you're progressing. But so many people aren't. They just constantly figure out some new way to dumb down themselves, and it's sad. So, do we have hope? Well, all depends on the individual. I would say there is hope. Not for everyone, but there is hope. Just depends on whether you're willing to choose that hope. There's not a whole lot I really else have to say here. I haven't done a video in a while. I probably should have done one a long time ago, but you get caught up doing stuff. Once again, sometimes stupid stuff, which I would agree I have done. Not proud of it, but I'll admit to it. I'll admit to my mistakes. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the little talk that I had to give. If you didn't learn anything from this, I guess you're already really smart as it is. And if you did, awesome. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments section below. Whatever else you want to do down there, it's really open up to you. I don't really care what you do. You could just spam links, but not that I really appreciate that, but free to do what you want, so long as it's not harming others and it's actually moral. Yeah. Anyways, have a good day. Get some rest, because this world has some interesting times ahead of us, especially with recent things that's been going on. So keep your eyes open, as always, and God bless.